Welcome back to episode 3 of the Going Yard podcast.
The 1-1 for Kuchi. Batista with a drive. Deep left field. No doubt about it.
My name is Nick Lew. I'm here alongside with Eric and Mo. And boys, it is spring training time.
Yes, sir.
So basically, at the time of this recording, the Jays are actually playing right now. They're playing 2 games, actually. One against the Detroit Tigers and one against the Phillies. I think, I have the game behind me right now. The Jays are beating Detroit like 4-1, and I think we're getting smoked by Philly.
I think it's 5-0. They're losing to Philly. Yeah, 5-0.
Yeah.
Surprise.
I mean, like, we got the scrubs there anyways, but it doesn't matter. But let's just go around table here. Mo, we'll start off with you. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, yo, what it do, baby? I'm doing well, guys. How are you all?
I'm great, man. I see your background today. Oh, man. We're going to get into it today.
Go.
It's the man of the hour, of course. It's the bearded Kuchi. And it feels great to be back on the diamond. So I'm now a level 10 choking up artist. So balls are definitely going to be flying this episode.
Oh my God. I love it. We're just leveling up each episode. Eric, what about you, man?
Just chilling, man. Reading week. Been pretty boring, but baseball's back. Things you love to see.
Yeah. So just going into spring training, we'll start off with game 1 with an MVP performance, I might say. What was it? Like 2 innings?
2 innings.
5 Ks?
Yeah, 5 strikeouts, only 1 hit.
Yeah,
no earned runs.
You know what? I count that 1 hit as a no-hit. I might have to say that was a no-hitter, honestly.
Oh, the little swunt?
Yeah, that was bunt. A blue. You know what? I saw on Twitter, Gate 14 posted it, and they're just like, Kikuchi just had a no-hitter, and I'm like, you know what? And everyone was coming from them. They're like, no, it was like he gave up a hit. I'm like, you know, I don't count that as a hit, man.
It was the swinging bunt. No one was getting that.
I count it because I hate it so much.
Yeah, man. You know what? The guy, he just brought in the beard, and then he took social media by storm with that, and everyone was just like, you know what? This is it. This is, even including us, we were like, this is it. And honestly, like, Eric texted us, and he's just like, is this going to be like the downfall, or is this going to be like an absolute like banger of an inning? And then 1, 2, 3 Ks, like just like it was nothing.
Yeah, mid-season form, throwing like 95, 94. It was looking good, man. The off-speed was looking unreal.
Yeah, I know. And like, I don't know if you guys were watching the game like just now with Bassett pitching. I get it. It's just first game spring training, but yeah, I don't know, man. Kikuchi was outshining everyone right now.
Okay, let's not get carried away. It's 2 innings.
No hitter in spring training, man.
A bushy Kuchi. We're all like, let's get the parade going. He's going to win the Cy Young. It's not going to happen, guys.
Oh, fuck.
I'm telling you, man, that beard has powers. Fear the beard. He's the new James Harden of the league.
Fear the beard.
I mean, I hope you're right. Like, that bodes very well for us. It's just, I can't stand Kuchi. Yeah. And that's I do love Kuchi, so.
So, like, I guess we're sticking on the Kuchi train. You know, he still hasn't earned our full respect with getting his full name, but I don't know, man. That beard's coming along. We're slowly getting there. I hope to.
Yeah, Vladdy.
Oh yeah, Vlad. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Absolute piss missile of a home run, pimping it too in spring training.
Oh my God.
You know, Espinal was 2 for 2 with a bomb. Addison Barger had a home run, and then the stinky performance from Zach Thompson. 4 earned runs and 2 walks in 0.2 innings. I think we all saw this coming. We knew he was going to be a shitter. I know it's only spring training still, but the numbers don't lie. And last year's numbers, I feel like, will just come into this season as well.
It was pretty bad. Like, me and Eric were like texting each other back and forth. Well, you know, with Kikuchi's performance, lighting it up, and then Thompson comes in, and then like 4 walks and then a grand slam. I'm like, oh my God, like, this is for real happening right now. But you know, Vladdy with the pimp job, and what's the other guy's name again?
Addison Barger.
Yeah, Addison Barger. He's looking actually kind of promising. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Yeah.
He looked pretty nice. Espinal too. He's fighting for that second base job. He's just not going to roll over and give it to Merrifield. So that's very encouraging.
Yeah, it's good to see that. It's definitely driving him to perform better, I think.
And he looks bigger too. Like last year, he looked like he hit the gym, but this year he looks even bigger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm still I'm rooting for him, but I'm still giving that starting spot to Merrifield.
Yeah. Well, Merrifield's hit a double in the game against the Yankees, I think.
Yeah.
Merrifield still is the front runner, but it's nice to have a guy at your heels for the season just to compete, because you never know with injuries, right? If Merrifield goes down or he's slumping, we have Espinal to back him up. That's pretty much the highlight.
That's pretty much the highlights.
Go to game 2 against the Yanks, because that was disgusting.
Yeah, that could have been.
Yeah, so 9-5 loss. Another Vladdy bomb and pimp job. The prospect LJ Talley hit a home run. Biggio 2 for 2. Probably his greatest performance ever, other than from when he hit the cycle that one year, which will never happen again. And then I also put that, of course, Nate Pearson finally respawning into the server after I don't know how long, walking 2 guys, which I mean, classic Nate Pearson. Gave up 1 run, but he did strike out the side.
That was pretty good.
He looked very good there.
Yeah, he looked pretty promising. Pretty good.
It's we've always known, I think his biggest issue is just walking guys, but that's something that I feel like can be worked on. And do you guys think that he ends up on the major league roster this year?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
as a reliever.
Yeah, as a reliever, he's not getting that 5th spot over Kuchi right now.
No.
Like his starting dreams are like kind of done now. Like,
agreed.
The guy was out for the whole season last year.
Yeah, it reminds me of Sanchez all over again.
Yeah,
except Sanchez eventually got into the starting lineup, but Pearson too unreliable. I think he's better suited as a reliever. Throws the heat, man. Like, can be a spot starter if you need him. It's a perfect win-win for him.
Yeah, agreed. I think that he definitely is more of a relief style pitcher.
Yeah, and like even just watching him like in his like I forgot what year it was. It may have been 21 or 2020, but when he was like starting those couple of times, he would look good for like 3 innings and then just straight downfall. So like that tells me right there, like you'd be good in the bullpen, and he's a good like setup man. That time when we did have him for a bit, like with you had like Simber and him like being setup mans for like Romano, like that was really good. And I thought we were gonna get that in the full season. Then the guy just had mono and called it a season. Like never came back.
Yeah.
So I honestly think he'll make the team. I think they'll still give him that chance. And the guy was throwing 101 still. So
yeah,
still pretty good.
He's got the velocity. So I would keep
without
him
a doubt.
And he's young.
Again, I think he just needs to work on walking less guys.
And that will come too. He hasn't pitched a whole lot, so he's got to get his form back. We've got great pitching coaches over there, and Pete Walker and the rest. So I think give him time, unless he gets mono again or some other kissing disease. So I think he'll make the team.
Exactly. So moving on to Game 3 against the Braves. We should preface, they were only starting like their minor league guys. I don't think that a single MLB starter was in that game. But yeah, 7-0 loss to the Braves. I should mention that Canadian prospect Deshaun Brown from Oakville got his first hit in his first ever spring training at bat.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, he played for the Ontario Blue Jays, so the opposition of the team that I used to play for. Yeah. But yeah, no, he was 3rd round pick, 88th overall. So I don't know. I thought that was just cool to bring up a kid from Oakville, 21 years old, and his first spring training at bat, getting a hit. So
do we know how old he is?
21. He's your age.
Oh, he's my age.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to be a Dalton Pompey, or do you think he actually has promise?
I think he's a better hitter for sure. I mean, again, he was drafted in the 3rd round. Pompey was, oh my God, I can't even remember if he was.
I don't remember when he was drafted, but it was
very late.
He was such a cocky motherfucker.
Yeah, he was a very late pick. But I think Deshaun Brown does have a lot of promise. And I've seen his minor league stats. He is hitting really well in the minors right now. So I think there's a good chance there. And then just another prospect. The performance that stood out from that game was the first baseman Spencer Horwitz. Yeah, 2 for 3.
He's looked good too, and he's played 2 games. He's got 3 hits total. He's looked pretty good, and a lefty at that.
Yeah, exactly. So who knows, man? It doesn't mean he's going to be on the roster this year because you've got Brendan Belt and Vladdy. But if with Brandon Belt only being signed to a 1-year deal, they might just say, well, let's call this guy up instead.
I was just going to say, what do you guys think of Drew Hutchinson?
Yeah, man, I don't know about
turning back the hands of time. No, he looked like garbage. See him making the team.
No, neither do I.
I feel like the Jays already have like their set core, and everyone's already like it's already set what the team's gonna be. They're just looking at for like a little diamond in the rough. So, other than that, it's not like we're like the Pittsburgh Pirates because everyone on that fucking team is fighting for a spot, man. It's like baseball tryouts, and like there's like 30 plus spots open. So like whoever doesn't make an error, you're on the team with that team, honestly.
Yeah, no, they stink.
Facts. Let's give a special shout out though to John Schneider, a hero.
Oh, yeah.
A man who saved a woman in the first day of being in Dunedin, eating with his wife, and there's a woman choking on a shrimpy shrimp, and he did not hesitate to run over and give her the Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's my skipper, man. That is my skipper.
So he's off to a great start. That just shows no fear. He didn't even hesitate. He just said as soon as he saw her choking, he just went over and saved her life. So kudos.
Yeah. I completely forgot about that because that was like right when they got there, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was like a week or 2 ago.
Yeah.
So he's starting off pretty hot.
Yeah. The only other Jays news, because obviously the only other games are happening right now, is that the Blue Jays hired former Astros GM James Click. They hired him as the vice president of baseball strategy. So what are you guys thinking about this?
I personally like this. I feel like they're doing this just in case like they might give like Atkins 1 more year. If he fucks up, then they're gonna make a swap. Same thing with like kind of like with the whole Mattingly situation. But I personally like it, and I see like I go on Twitter and Instagram, and these, I don't know, you want to call Jays fans or whatever, they're saying like, oh, now the Jays are gonna cheat, they're gonna use trash cans. It's like, hello, do you not realize when he was there? He wasn't even there when the whole cheating scandal happened, and it's like he was with Tampa and Houston, like 2 very strong teams. So it's like, I'm pretty sure, obviously everything's still going to go past Atkins, but to have him there too, it's kind of like a right-hand man, and it's like a right-hand man that knows what he's doing to win. So with that move too, it's kind of like not only are we making moves like with players, but we're making moves with like management too, which I like because you know how much I hate our management team. So
yeah, it's a fantastic move. This obviously winning follows this guy. He's got a recipe for winning. Like you said, Atkins is complete shit, so it's good to have a voice who knows what he's doing to, maybe guide Atkins and light a fire under his ass because I can't stand it. And Shapiro, that goes for you too, you bum.
Oh, yeah, that guy. 2 of them, man. They're a package deal. Like, get out of here.
Joe Pinchpennies, I can't stand them.
Yeah. They suck. I agree. I think it's a good call. It's definitely a possibility that's like, okay, this is, if Atkins and Shapiro keep fucking the dog, then this is who's going to end up taking their spot. And I think that is good. To your point, Mo, it's going to light a fire under their ass and hopefully, just makes the fucking management better.
Yeah, because how often have we scratched our heads saying, why did you do that? Or why didn't you do anything? Or why are you counting your fucking pennies when you've got Bo and Vladdy and some of the younger guys on the cheap right now, and you can go out and get some big name stars or just dish some money, because we know Rogers has money. Come on now.
Yeah.
And they just sit there and do nothing. Like, how long did it take them to make moves during the offseason? Took forever.
Yeah.
We were all like, is something going to happen? Or are we just going to trade Teo and that's call it a day? Like, so this is a perfect move. And I like, Nick, how you compared it to the Mattingly move, because this is perfect experience. And that's what this team needs, is experience. So kudos.
Yeah, like literally just watching the past like how many games that we've seen so far. Like I'd watch it with my dad and everything, and then you see like Mattingly just like poking out. He has his little like camera appearances, and it's like the bench already looks so much more mature. And it just looks like we're like actually a team. Like compared to when I saw like Charlie Montoyo out there, man, that was not a baseball team.
That guy makes me cringe.
I hate that guy. But like having John Mattingly, and it's like they look like serious coaches. And it's like they want to win. And they even, I think, it was probably like Hazel May or something was saying that, or Ben Wang or whatever. They were saying how when Don Mattingly was leaving, he was looking for a team that like wants to win now, So, and it's like the fact that he saw that in us, and it's like not like all these other players that just don't want to come to Canada. It's like that's pretty big, We got a coach that went to a shitter like Miami and took him to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I love that move, and it's like going back to the whole, if I see it, if Schneider isn't doing well, like Mattingly will take that position with ease. It's like I can see that happening.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah. So as we're still on the topic with like, spring training, we've also seen the new rules and some of the things where like the bases are like way bigger. And honestly, at first when I heard about that, I was like, you're not gonna notice, but am I the only one that like really noticed the bases being like,
no, they're noticeably bigger, man.
Yeah.
It's they were 15 inches, they're now 18. And I read something that was like it's to help with stealing bases and creating offense, but of course the safety of like first baseman as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's now the distance between like first and second and third is like it's like 4.5 inches closer now.
It's 4.5 inch reduction. In the distance. That's what it says.
So it's like they've I was reading like a whole thing. They did it is to increase more stolen base attempts. Because it's like nowadays people aren't stealing because everyone's just trying to hit the friggin' long ball with how many home runs there are. Yeah. Nobody's playing the old gritty style of baseball anymore. So they're like, we want to increase stealing, offense in general, and then again, preventing injury of like first baseman getting stepped on, or even like turning double plays. The bigger base will leave a little more room.
That's good. You got to bring safety to the game. I mean, it gets dangerous. You guys been there. You're sliding, and someone steps on your ankle or your foot, or or you cleat someone. It's good like that. And there's nothing wrong with creating more offense and more fun to the game. Like I remember, stealing was a huge thing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And now, like you said, like you alluded to, everyone wants to mash. So there's no stealing. It's a art form that's been lost. So this is a great rule. I love it. And it's the opposite of what the next rule that they've been placed about the limited defensive shifts. What do you guys think?
I think it's friggin' stupid they got rid of the shift. It's been a part of the game since the dawn of time. And in my personal opinion, the whole point is to create offense. Why the fuck isn't a professional hitter able to hit the ball the other way? And I understand that, pitchers will probably target throwing inside to them in order to pull the ball. Okay, bunt the ball down the third baseline. David Ortiz has gotten a friggin' double out of doing that before. I think someone who's a little quicker can do the same thing. I don't know. I'm very narrow-minded on this because, again, these are professional hitters. It's quite simple to either bunt the ball or slap the ball the other way when you're that caliber of a player. And again, I get it. They're hitting against professional pitching, but it doesn't take a wizard to bunt the ball down the third base line.
Yeah, I'd have to say I don't entirely disagree with you. Like I was okay. I was okay with the shift being how it was before, where you would just see shifts when there was a big lefty bat. You'd have that second baseman out onto the grass. It was when it started getting like, okay, now we have like 4 outfielders, like Espinal's in the outfield. It's like, okay, like that was like a little too much, because I do like the idea of how, they are trying to make it more offensively, right? But to your point too, it's like, how is a big league hitter not able to, rip it down there? But again, I was okay with the little minor shifts, but I am totally for banning the whole like 4 outfielders shift.
It did start to get extreme within the last few years. You are right, because there would be like 4 guys playing in the outfield, and they would almost start doing the shift for majority of players in the league. There was only the set few that there used to be, but now it's like everybody's got a friggin' shift on them.
Well, the team that did it the most was the Jays. Like they did it almost on every player.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid. I think you're eliminating strategy from the game. It's like going to basketball games and saying, well, you can no longer do the zone defense.
Yeah. Or like even with football, you can't play man defense, something like that.
That's again, and you nailed it, Eric. If you can't hit Oppo, we both said it actually. If you can't hit Oppo or you can't adjust your swing
approach,
that's on you. That's your prerogative. Yeah.
You shouldn't be a professional baseball player, in my opinion.
If you can only drive the ball, that's your prerogative. You're going to get out. That shouldn't be taken away from the game. I think it's a really bad rule, and you're going to see. I honestly think it's going to be that rule. The most stands out to me, minus the pitch timer.
Yeah,
it's going to stand out to me as chaotic.
But yeah, going into the pitch clock. So,
did you see the spring training game?
Yeah.
The one that ended, the walk-off, like, pitch clock violation.
Yeah.
What's so crazy about it is that, like, that's what everyone was asking about. Like, I saw it all over Twitter. They're like, what if it's like a 3-2, bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, and then a pitch clock? Like, what happens? And it happened, like, right away. That's why I was, like, laughing. How I feel about it, it's like, I honestly do like it because it speeds the game up way faster. Like, during the first game, like we were talking about it, like we were texting through, and it's like you notice it, like you went through an inning like in less than like 5 minutes almost, if it was like a 1-2-3 inning.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it when it comes down to those situations. Like, do I want to see that happen in like a World Series Game 7 of like tie game, bottom of the 9th, bases loaded? It's like no, because I want to see like a walk-off hit, but you think about it's like football now, you got to get the playoff before time runs out. So, and it's like in football, if you run out of time, 15-yard or not 15-yard, 5-yard penalty, right? So I like it. I'll say I like it. If maybe they do some modifications when it comes to playoff time, like maybe give them, like a little bit more extra time, I wouldn't mind that at all.
My biggest thought is I think it's good as well. I think that what they should have done for if they wanted to limit time in games is, for one, there should be a limit to how many pitchers can be changed in an inning. You shouldn't be able to put 2 different pitchers in the same inning. And also, why the fuck should a relief pitcher get so much time to warm up on the mound when they've been warming up for an inning already?
That's like, very true.
Yeah.
To me, that's outrageous. Start right away. The amount of that adds an extra 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes for the pitcher to just throw on the mound when they've been warming up in the bullpen already. They're professional pitchers, man. Like, they don't need the extra time to pitch on the mound. So I agree that I think the pitch clock is good, but I think that the biggest thing for helping with changing the time in games is not letting relievers, closers warm up on the mound after being in the bullpen, and limiting how many pitching changes there could be in an inning.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. That would save a ton of time.
Didn't they change that though?
The
amount of pitchers in an inning?
Oh, maybe you're right. I think they might have. You might be right about that, actually.
I think they did. Like, you can't, like, they eliminated that whole, like, if you bring out a lefty arm against a lefty, then you can't change him right away.
Oh yeah, you can't like bring out another guy right after. Yeah, you're right. But I think it's still like, you can change a pitcher twice in an inning, and I just don't think you should be able to do that.
Yeah, like after a certain amount of like at bats, I think after 3 at bats, then you can change it. Like if he's still stuck, like giving out runs, and you can change him. But I think you at least need to give him like 3 at bats.
Yeah.
Mo, what about you on the whole pitch count?
I don't mind the pitch count because again, it speeds up the game. I think this is going to make pitchers and hitters more aware as well. I do agree, though, there should be maybe a stipulation in the playoffs, especially maybe imply it or implicate it in the 9th inning or something. Anything after the 9th inning, maybe the pitch clock gets eliminated or a veto to it.
Yeah.
Or just add more time to it.
Or just add more time or
Yeah.
something like that, because it would really suck to lose a game based on time expiring. I think that's a bunch of horse shit.
Agreed.
But
Yeah,
but
no.
other than that, I'm all for it. I've always wanted. I love baseball. I know you guys love baseball too, but I've always wanted the game to speed up
Yes.
in general,
Yeah.
especially when I'm just at home watching it. Sometimes it does need to pick up. So this is great. I just think, I fear someone's going to get screwed over, and it's not a spring training game. Like, it's a legit game that means everything. Someone's going to get screwed over out of it, and then it's going to be a huge uproar.
All right, so we're going into our next segment where basically we have a list of, what are we doing? Top 5?
Yeah.
Top 5 stadiums in the league. So pretty simple. Eric, let's start with you, man.
So for number 1, I have PNC Park. Obviously Pittsburgh, iconic field. I've actually been there for a game. I'm thinking of the Cleveland game, so never mind, ignore that. But I have been to PNC Park. It's unbelievable. I mean, the bridges in the background. Pittsburgh's just iconic for their stadiums, like Heinz Field, all that. Just legendary. Number 2, I have Oracle Park. It used to be known as AT&T, San Francisco. Another park I've been to, unbelievable. It's right on the ocean. I'm a big San Francisco fan, so maybe it's a little bit biased as having them number 2. But then I got Wrigley for 3. I mean, it's just iconic. The ivy on the walls, all that. I got Fenway number 4. I've been to all of these parks too, Wrigley, Fenway, but Fenway again, just iconic. And then number 5, I have not been to this park, but I put Petco or San Diego for number 5.
Bro, your list is the same as mine, just in a different order.
Oh, no way. So what is yours then, Mo?
I'm just gonna go from 5 to 1. So number 5 is Fenway Park. I mean, you got the Green Monster, the history behind it, and it's a little jab at Luke because he keeps running his fucking mouth about Boston. I'll see you over there, and I'll fucking dump you over the Green Monster.
Luke, you hear that?
Loser
that, Luke?
Team.
That's what you get for dropping out of college.
Bum. No, we love you, Luke, but
Yeah, I love you, buddy.
Number 4, Petco Park in San Diego. There's just something about that park that screams baseball. You know what I mean? Like, it's just got that baseball feel to it. Like, I'm not a San Diego fan by any means, and I think they're just trying to buy their way into a championship. But that park is just a state of the art. And I remember back in the day, San Diego's other parks were just flaming garbage and nobody cared about them. But this one, it's really nice, man. I'd love to go down to San Diego one day, check it out.
Yeah, well, it's where they play the perfect game All-American, like the top high school prospects. Like that's where they play the game, is in San Diego, and yeah, it's become one of the most iconic fields in the sport.
It's beautiful. Number 3, PNC Park. My buddy went to a concert in PNC Park and said it was the greatest show he's ever seen. Now, I don't know who it was because he listens to hippie music, but he said it was just the atmosphere of PNC Park and Pittsburgh itself. It was just something to remember. So that park looks phenomenal. I would definitely go down there, and it's not too far from here, so that would be worth it. Number 2, Wrigley Field. You got the ivy. You've got the history. Rookie of the Year, one of my favorite baseball movies, shot over there. So Wrigley Field, like what can you say? And the curse is lifted, so it's just a thing of beauty. And number 1, Oracle Park.
Yeah,
I love the view of this place, man. The water's right there. You just swat home runs, and you just watch people on their boats trying to catch these home runs. It's so funny. It's great. And the Bay Area just seems like a nice chill spot to be in, and it's just something about that park just kind of screams like freedom and baseball and like old school American mentality of like baseball as the number one sport. So that I love that field, and yeah, that's my list.
I like that like mindset of like the old. It does really give off that vibe with the big like glove in the outfield. I think, do they still have the big Coke bottle out there too?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's
exactly. Just screams of a simpler time, like when baseball was America's pastime. Like that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, so I guess it's my turn to go into the list. So before we start, I have an honorable mention, and I don't care what anyone says, because the only stadium I've been to, the Rogers Center, right? Honorable mention. It didn't make the list, but it's an honorable mention.
That
and plus
sucks.
With the new renos, I don't care. It's
oh yeah, well the renos, we're all gonna check that out.
Yeah, okay. Before it was ass, but like I'm hoping that this year will look better. But anyways, starting at number 5, I actually got Dodger Stadium.
Okay.
I know it's like, so because of Rogers Center, of how basic it was, that's how like I just grew up seeing baseball stadiums, before I got heavy into baseball. But it's kind of like that just basic feel, but it still looks nice, And going back to Mo's point of like that old fashioned style, I like how the outfield is like bleacher seats.
Mm-hmm.
And with the iconic like scoreboard, the lights, and then everything else.
Yeah,
give it
and the seats are like, it's weird because I've also been to Dodger Stadium, and I agree. I think that it is a good top 5. Dodger Stadium, the seats are like lower than I can't remember what it is, but the seats are like lower than the ground or something.
Than the ground, right? Yeah, I saw that. So yeah, Dodger Stadium is my number 5. At number 4. Might get some questionable questions about this one. I said T-Mobile Park.
That's
Seattle.
That's Seattle.
Yeah.
I don't really mind it.
It was nice when it first came out because it was like fresh. But now with all these other stadiums, it's kind of taking a backseat. But I ain't mad about it. Like I'd love to go to Seattle and watch a game.
So here's my reasoning for it. Once you see the rest of my list goes on, you'll understand why. But when you have a stadium that has, when you're in the park and probably even playing, and you have a nice scenery, that is so sick. Like I remember even playing baseball, and I forgot what park it was, but I played a game one time, and it was like the scene in the outfield was literally like square one, and you just saw like buildings, and it felt so cool to me because it's like it just felt like a stadium game, even though it was just like a cage fence, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and with T-Mobile Park, it's like you kind of have in the background, you have like that view of the skyline, and then a little bit of poking out is where the Seahawks play. So little things like that. And then plus, I vouch for any stadium that has a retractable roof. It's like, it's just smarter. You know what I mean? It's like, you have a rain gate, it's raining, doesn't matter. You're still going to play. You got a roof, So that's why I put T-Mobile at 4. At number 3, I got Oracle Park. Again, it's basically everything that you guys all said. And I just find it cool that it's like in the background, it's just all water. And especially at right field, you got that chance to, hit a splash shot. So, and plus I remember watching Barry Bonds just hit a bunch of splash shots. So that just brought me back. Number 2, I got Petco Park. Again, the whole reason, it just looks sick, man.
Yeah.
The whole scenery vibe. And then a lot of people actually don't like it because at left field, you got that whole, that warehouse.
Metal Supply Co. building.
And people are like, you don't even got an actual foul pole there. I like different shit.
Yeah.
I like it, yeah.
It's something different, and it's a stadium that we don't get to see a lot because, Jays don't go to San Diego a lot. Number 1, PNC Park. Like, Eric, you basically, everything that you said was everything that I was going to say, and it's just like, you got the bridge in the background too, and it just screams Pittsburgh, man. It's just a shame that the team that they have there. It's a shame, man.
Garbage. Ugh.
Nick, if you're someone who cares a lot about like the whole scenery thing, I'm gonna have to send you some pictures of some like college baseball fields because a lot of them actually have like way better sceneries than even MLB stadiums do.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah. What do you guys think is the worst stadium? Because I've got
Tampa Bay.
Either Tropicana.
I got the Coliseum.
But I was gonna say it stinks. It looks like vomit. Like that shit. I hate Oakland's uniforms. I hate their stadium. Like it's just vomit green. Like It's disgusting.
Yeah, I agree with you that, but I don't know, man. I think honestly the worst ever has to be Tropicana. Like the whole catwalk's getting in the way, and then the grass is like fucking dead, and then it's not even. And then they got like no fans in there, and it just sounds like shit.
Yeah.
And they got like the cowbells going, and I don't like it.
It's also it's also like the lighting in there is fucking depressing.
It's terrible.
As well. Yeah.
That's true. How is Dunedin and some of the other Florida parks nicer than Tropicana?
Tropicana, I know, right? It's like what the hell.
And it's like the whole excuse for like their dome is like, oh, it gets hot, and because it's actually in St. Petersburg. It's not even in fucking Tampa. And the whole thing is like, oh, like it gets too hot. It's like, okay, then like why are the spring training stadiums not covered by a roof? Like I guess like they're playing in March, they're not playing in the summer, but it's just like because I even know Miami's I think is a dome as well, right?
But that's nicer than like it opens and it's
way nicer.
Way nicer.
It's way nicer than New Park. Yeah, I don't know. Tropicana and
it's a dump.
The Coliseum are fucking terrible. The Rogers Center would have been the third worst in my opinion. But with the renos, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
Special shout out to Bernie at Miller Park. I'll go down that slide one day, I promise you.
Yeah, that has to. Or like Arizona and the pool.
Yeah, the pool, or like Busch Stadium. Like you guys like sceneries. Busch Stadium looks nice.
Yeah, that's another one too. I forgot about.
All right, Nick, your favorite segment. Take us home, man.
I'm excited for this one.
Best players.
Yeah.
Positions. All right. So the segment we're doing is best position players or best players at each position in the whole entire league. So, who wants to start it off?
Okay, so for starting pitcher, I got Jacob deGrom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I know he was hurt last year, but this guy in New York was absolutely dominant. You look at like the whole thing, his losses, the games that they lost, he was only giving up 1 or 2 runs in those games. The only reason they lost is because the Mets had no offense at the time. I don't know. For me, it's deGrom. I don't know.
So I got Justin Verlander.
Ooh, I knew someone was gonna pick Verlander.
I kind of had a feeling too.
You kind of just look at his stats, and I get age will probably catch up to him eventually. But last season, man, the guy was dominant. Low ERA, really good record, and he was still throwing like 100, and the guy's like how old, you know?
Yeah.
So, and as much as I hate Houston, I have to give it to Verlander on that one, but that's my starting pitcher.
Can't argue with that. He won the Cy Young, right?
Cy Young,
yeah. I think if you're basing it just off of last season, then I would say that is I think that's definitely a fair pick.
Can't go wrong with that pick. That's a solid pick. I got sticking with Milwaukee and Bernie himself and going with Corbin Burns.
I'm not mad at that. That's another good one I was thinking about too, actually.
Dude, 12-8, 2.94 ERA. He's only 28 years old. Just needs a better team, and this guy's going to be lights out.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I didn't even for some reason I didn't even think of Corbin Burns, and I literally talked about him in our last episode.
I always forget about him, and then like when it mentions it, I'm like, oh yeah, Corbin Burns. Like
because Milwaukie, man, no one gives a shit about.
Exactly.
I think that's just what it is.
Like I never pay attention to Milwaukee.
No.
Okay, so let's go relief pitchers, guys. I'll start it off.
Oh, sorry.
I'll start up. I got Edwin Diaz from the Mets.
Yeah, same.
Me too.
Yeah, two-time All-Star, 28 years old. His numbers last season, he was 3-1 with a 1.31 ERA. This guy is, when he's on the mound, he's closing out games.
Yeah. And he's got the absolutely electric
walk.
Walk-in. Yeah. The bullpen song is so good.
Timmy Trumpet's out there.
Yes, sir.
Crazy. I love it. All right, so I guess, we all have the same reliever / closer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, what position are we going with next? Catcher?
Catcher. Yeah.
Nick, you go first.
Nick, you start us off, buddy.
All right, I'm going with Thick Jesus Alejandro.
No.
Oh, by the way, he had to withdraw from
the W.
Yeah, because of the birth of his son or daughter. I don't know what he had, but he just his wife just gave birth. So big ups to Thick Jesus for
big ups.
having another thick Jesus in this world. So
Yeah, sure. No, I like again, mine was solely based off kind of like last season. And if you look at it, like him and Jose Trevino, and I guess JT Realmuto, but you know, you know how big of a Kirk fan I am, so I'll pick him over any day. But you know, his numbers didn't lie either. Like he was an all-star, him and Jose Trevino, and it's just like the guy proved himself too. So again, it was totally based off last season. Do I think he's the greatest catcher of all time? Not yet, but has potential.
I've got JT or Realmuto.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got Realmuto as well.
Just look what he's done throughout. Like he's a 3-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove, 3-time Silver Slugger.
Yeah,
his career numbers, like 134 home runs, 275 batting average, 1,013 hits. Like the guy, clutch. He's everything you want in a catcher.
No, and again, he's bringing back. He's not as good of a hitter, but he's as Buster Posey was. But he's bringing back the old offensive catcher as well as defensive catcher. Too many catchers nowadays stink of camel shit when it comes to hitting. I'm sorry, but so many of them, they can't fucking hit. And I agree, Nick. Kirk had a great offensive season, but I think longevity-wise, Realmuto is still just going to do better. And Realmuto, again, like, no shade to Kirk, Realmuto's a fucking athlete, man. Like,
I agree with that too.
For a catcher, he can run. Like, he's in very, very good shape. And again, just he's a defensive catcher. Again, Gold Gloves and Silver Sluggers. He does both, and there's not enough catchers in today's game that can do both well.
Yeah, nice name drop, by the way, with Buster Posey. That guy was a gem to watch.
He's probably my favorite player of all time.
Yeah, no, he was pretty clutch.
Let's go first base. Eric, take it away, man.
Paul Goldschmidt. Yeah. It was between either him or Freddie Freeman. You know, as much as I'd love to put Vladdy up there, I still just think that Goldschmidt is, again, he's a stupidly athletic first baseman. He's a guy who can run, and that's just not common. He absolutely swats. Like, he can hit. He's very good defensively. Didn't he win the Gold Glove for the NL? Yeah.
Didn't he win MVP?
Yes, he did. Yeah. So, I mean, again, it was between him and Freeman, and then, like, honorable mention being Vladdy as well. But yeah, I just had to go with Goldschmidt.
So mine was Vladdy.
Yeah.
Mine was okay. But here's my. So it was the same thing. Goldschmidt and Freeman, not discarding them at all. My thing was that he didn't have the season that we all hoped for, but which still had a good season last year. The guy rakes, and it's like for a first baseman who was originally a third baseman, picked it up so fast. Like, I don't know if you guys were watching the game just now. Like first inning, Chapman had a diving stop, threw it to Vladdy. His picks are insane, man.
Yeah.
Like, he can play defensively. Like, I seen him like track him down defensively. And for a guy his size, like, he has wheels too. So, in my opinion, yeah, I think Goldschmidt is an athletic first baseman too. But like, I think Vladdy is just the same. And just because he's like a little bit younger, I feel like he has the advantage there.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I was gonna say I got the hometown boy as well, Vladdy Jr. You just look at him as a player, what he can do. He hasn't been in the league that long, and he's already tearing it up. And we dog him for having an off year, but he still put up big numbers.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah.
If you call that an off year, what is he gonna do when he's on? Right?
Yeah.
And I've seen a glimpse of it, and just so far, and I know it's only spring training, but so far in spring training, he's got the focus. You look at him when he's at the plate, he's got this focus, this newfound focus, and I think he's just going to tear it up this season. He's the future, and he's also the present. So I'm going to go with Vladdy Jr. And again, no disrespect to the other two guys, but Vladdy Jr. is the best first baseman right now.
All right. Moving on to second base.
We're going to second. All right. Everybody's favorite cheater.
The rat.
Yeah, the rat himself, Jose Altuve.
Yeah, I have him too.
Like, great player. I just hate anyone from that Astros team that won. But the numbers don't lie. He's an MVP, an 8-time All-Star, a 2-time World Series champion. The guy can do it all. So
defensively, he's just insane too.
Yeah, he just does everything. So begrudgingly, it's For me, it's Jose Altuve.
I feel that because it's like even when I played baseball, I was the second baseman. So it's just like one of the guys that I looked up to is, well, honestly, my favorite second baseman ever was Dustin Pedroia, and then
Ooh,
Nice name
I would-
drop
that's a
pick.
good pick.
I would like look at like the present day, which would be like Altuve, and then after that whole cheating thing, I'm like, hey, fuck this guy, you know. So, anyways, moving on to short.
Yeah,
Shortstop, I got Trey Turner.
same.
Yeah.
We all got Trey
That's
Turner.
Yeah.
Trey Turner, yeah.
I mean, like it was either that or Bo Bichette. I'm joking. Bo Bichette wasn't even in the
Probably one of the
picture.
worst defensive shortstops.
One of the worst one, like bottom tier list. But yeah, Trey Turner. We mentioned it a couple episodes ago. Like we were saying, like how I feel like he's so like underrated. Like I feel like he doesn't get enough attention for shortstops. You know.
Yeah,
I feel like
he's not as like flashy as
No.
a lot of other shortstops are. He doesn't wear the 10 million armbands and
Yeah.
forearm sleeves and the big ass sunglasses like Tatis does and whatever. I'm sorry, like Trey Turner's a way better player than Fernando Tatis is. Like,
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
100%. Not even.
And for a guy his size, he can rake too. Like
yeah.
really well.
And again, I think he has, or he at least did have, like the fastest home to first time. Like he's one of the best runners in the league. Yeah, he's just a crazy, phenomenal athlete, really.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had 21 bombs last year, too. So you know he can go yard. No
Yeah.
pun intended.
That's what it is there. We've got to fit it in somehow, always.
That's what she said.
Three bag.
This one I feel like could start some stuff. So, Nick, who do you got?
I got Nolan Arenado.
Okay, see, this is why I knew it was going to start stuff. I got Machado for third.
Oh,
I got Machado as well.
see, okay, I see your points in Machado. I just don't like Machado.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's if we're talking bias wise, I
Yeah.
watch like Arenado. I like way more as well, but
Yeah.
I just feel they're both so good, man. Like, and the fact that like they're both guys who've been in the league for fucking ever and they're still disgusting, like,
No.
is crazy to me. Like, their longevity is ridiculous, man. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I just hated Machado since he was on like Baltimore too. Like it's just I hate that he's good, you know. That's why.
really good.
But it was honestly between those two, and again, it was kind of like if I gotta pick one, I gotta pick Arenado. So, all right, should we go right field?
No, let's go DH. No, let's go
DH.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll start off with DH. It was okay. There was like so many different options, but I'm like, nah, man. It has to be Yordan Alvarez for me.
Ooh, okay. That's,
Dude,
it's
interesting.
not a bad thing.
The guy rakes, and it's like every time I see him in a clutch situation, he always delivers, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong at all.
It was either that or Shohei, but I'm like, I think Yordan takes the cake on that one, honestly.
Yeah.
Mo, who do you have?
Shohei, come
Yeah.
on, man. Otani. Show me your Otanis, man.
Yeah.
That man is definitely the best DH. He's probably one of the top 5.
They have
player,
him.
period.
They have him ranked as like the number 1 player in the league overall. Like,
Yeah.
He does everything. He pitches, he hits, he's like your prototypical DH. He mashes. He's an MVP, rookie of the year, 2-time All-Star.
yeah,
Right field, who do we got?
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge, come on. Not even close.
Okay, so here's the thing. I do have Aaron Judge on this list, but I have him as a center fielder because he was a center fielder.
Get out of here.
I mean, he was a center fielder though
He
last year,
was.
like
But
all
he
of
won
last year.
But he won his MVP in right field.
Yeah,
That's fair because at right field I had Mookie Betts.
It's so hard, right? Like Mookie and Judge, man.
and
Like,
Bryce Harper.
Yeah,
I consider him more of a DH though.
yeah,
Yeah, fair.
But that was and I guess it sucks because everyone in the outfield doesn't really stick to a certain positions. They all change. That's why like I kind of took the opportunity. I'm like, you know what? Judge was technically center field last year, so I'll put him at center and give Mookie that spotlight too. Because I do believe that both of them do deserve it. But for the right field spot, yeah, Mookie Betts has got mine. What's your center field?
Trout.
I had a feeling.
Like Trout.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but like I'm picking if we're saying Judge is a center fielder, I know that Judge had a better season last year. I'm still putting Mike Trout over Aaron Judge.
Then we'll go on to the last one, left field.
This one was like hard for me to find a position, man.
It was hard too.
I was looking at like the top like 100 players in the MLB rankings this year, and there's no left fielders in the top 40. Like other than Yordan Alvarez, who they put him as a DH/left fielder. And then Kyle Schwarber was like 44th. But I'm like, this guy's also...
I wasn't picking Kyle Schwarber. He's a bum.
Yeah, so like I put Alvarez for left field, but he pretty much only DHs.
Yeah.
Who'd you pick?
I picked Randy Arozarena.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
I'm mad about that.
Yeah, the guy, he's just super athletic and he can rake. He's a fast runner too, so it's like, and again, it was really tough to pick. Like Randy, he was already on my radar even before like we started this whole thing, even from last year and the year before that. So Randy Arozarena, he's got my spot for left field.
Man, it's like Arozarena's good, man. But if we're saying he's the best like left fielder in the game, that just shows how stinky left fielders in the MLB
exactly.
are,
it's like
it's definitely the shitter position. Like respectfully to left fielders, like you play the stinkiest position in the sport.
Yeah,
like,
it was bad when they had Lourdes Gurriel at like number 10. I'm like, hey, no way, man.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't pick him either, so
yeah.
I went with the Canadian Tyler O'Neill.
Tyler O'Neill, yeah.
I thought he was center field.
They have him listed at left field. He can play center.
He probably does. Like I said, they change it every time in the outfield. So
he's nasty, man. He's a really good defensive player.
Yeah, 2-time Gold Glove winner. So and he's still young. He's 27 years old. So I feel like he can still. There's still room for improvement. Like I said, fellow beaver tail over. So yeah, let's go, Tyler O'Neill. Prove me right.
Yeah, I think that's actually that's a pick out of nowhere as well. Like I wouldn't have expected that. Again, that's probably because I thought he was a center fielder. But
all right, well, just like Bartolo Colon's diet regiment, this episode's over. So Nick, why don't you take us home, baby?
Yeah, well, this has been episode 3 of the Going Yard podcast. I hope you guys really enjoy these as much as we do. And, follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok as well. It's just the Going Yard Podcast, just like our YouTube name. And for our personal socials, we'll link them into the bios on YouTube and even on Spotify and SoundCloud, wherever we can. But this is going to be it from the boys. We'll do a little bit of follow-up because it's really hard to keep track of all spring training games, but because it's just the Grapefruit League anyways. So when we get closer to the tail event, we'll pick it up from there. But for now, this is going to be it. Boys, any last words?
I got one shout out to Kyle Dubas. I know this is a baseball podcast, but kudos to you for landing Jake McCabe and Sam Lafferty yesterday. We're competing this year, and you know what? Screw you, Boston, and screw you, Tampa.
I'm here for it. Let's go. This is it for the Going Yard podcast. We'll see you next time.